Hello everyone, we're here with David who just won the winner box with Blue Dofi. He's alive.
Yeah, Blue's back, baby.
Yeah, so why did you choose Blue Dofi?
Well, they're banning my boy Red Purple Law. Good riddance, actually.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I decided to play the blue version of Red Purple Law.
Yeah. Except you don't minus.
Yeah, you don't minus. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. You're trying to you accomplish the same thing as Red Purple Law. And it only gets better when the ST17 comes out.
Yeah, true. Do you remember your matchups?
My matchups was right now. A lot of people around our locals have been playing a lot of Rogue, so it's been a lot of mishmash of different decks. I've versed a lot of Namis actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
true.
haven't lost to a single one. The Nami matchup is
Nice.
actually really easy for this deck.
Nice.
I did verse a Black Yellow Luffy, versus like other stuff as well. Versus the Hody Jones.
Hody
Yeah,
Jones,
Hody
okay.
Jones. So it's just a big mismatch of Rogue. Really, that's just what the locals have been right now.
Cool. Alright, should we get into the deck profile?
Yeah, easy. So starting off, whoops. 4 Zengoku to search all your 7 Warlords. 3 Perona because you want to stack the deck. 1 Duval because I couldn't find a 4th Perona.
Fair.
He does the same. He searches the top 3. He looks at the top 3 and he's a blocker.
Yeah.
So whatever. You know, I just couldn't find a 4th Perona. So
Fair enough.
Yeah,
It works.
it works. You know what works. 4 Doffy because you know he's a blocker and you want to look at the top 5. Kind of good. 4 Moria because obviously.
The blue Moria.
Yep. You want to get those Jinbeis that they attack into or whatever.
Yep.
4 Jinbeis because you want to play out the rest of your hand. 2 Weevil, really good. 4/6 lets you draw a card. I'm only playing 2 because I only have 2.
Fair enough.
2 Gecko because I don't have 4 Weevils. But
It works.
it works. And he's fine as well.
Yeah.
It's fine to keep playing him because he's a 4/6. 4 Mihawk, 2k counter, playable off leader. Croc, and again, 2k counter, playable off leader. Law, a 2k counter, playable off leader, not as good because he's a 4k.
Yeah.
His effect, though, to go back to your hand is actually pretty useful. If you're ever in a position where you end up having to play him off your leader ability, because you don't really want to, but sometimes it's the only thing you have.
Yeah.
So if you play him with a leader ability, you can just, even if your opponent doesn't have 6 cards in hand, you can still just return him.
Yeah.
Just for the 2k counter.
Fair enough.
So he's
yeah,
pretty
true.
cool.
Your leader effect just becomes like a draw. Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. 4 Pudding, because I think you just should run this card. Every blue deck should just run this card. If you find the right timing to play it early or mid game or whatever, then it can really just hinder your opponent in what they want to do.
Yep.
So yeah, I think every blue deck should just be running some amount of puddings. I maxed out because I want to see it as soon as possible. Or, you know. 2 Boa. You have to. Yeah. I think you have to play some form of a bigger body that's not a 4 cost or whatever. So that could be like the 10-drop Kaido. It could be like maybe the 9-drop Mihawk, or it could be like the 7-drop Borsellino, just whatever. The reason I went for Boa because the card looks really nice.
Fair. Yeah.
And it's also a 6 cost. So if you can go 6/4. That's all. That's the only reason, really. I'd still experiment more with like other ones like the 10-drop Kaido or the other big ones.
So you wouldn't increase the number to 3 or 4? Pretty
Oh,
good.
you definitely can. I think you can run up to 4. I just decided to run 2 because that's what I was vibing at.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll definitely encourage people to play around with their ratio of the bigger body.
Yeah.
4 Gravity Blade.
Yep.
This card is busted. You should be running 4. Yeah, just getting rid of 2 bodies is so good.
Yeah.
There was one game I was actually versing the red-green Odin of all decks.
Okay.
And that deck needs to have a 5 cost on board.
Yeah.
And I saw 1, 2, 3 back to back, and you just couldn't play. So this deck, it's really good. It's really good. You should be running 4. I'm running 2 Perfumer. This is, in theory, the win condition against Black Yellow
Okay.
Luffy, because when they're on no life, you just use this, stack everything on one of your 6k bodies, and then attack for game.
Right.
That's the kind of idea behind it. It's never come up. A good Black Yellow Luffy player will always leave himself in 1 life, so this will never come up. But I like the idea of it. I'm still trying it out.
Yeah.
The trigger's nice, I guess.
Cool.
As well. You get a draw card. Who doesn't like drawing cards?
Nobody.
I'm playing 1 Red Rock.
Okay.
Because bottom deck, anything you want.
It's pretty good.
And then I'm playing 1 Gum Gum Rain.
Yeah.
This has never come up. I wish it was another Red Rock.
Okay.
So that's what I would do. I would make it 2 Red Rocks instead.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sounds
Pretty good list. Pretty budget friendly as well.
Yeah, that's what I like about this deck as well. It's gonna cost you like $30 maybe.
Yeah, you don't need 4 secrets.
Yeah, you don't need anything really expensive. Everything's cheap. Everything's rares or commons. I guess you know, depending on what big bodies you want to run, it can be more or less expensive. But yeah, I really like the cheaper decks because it doesn't hurt my wallet.
Yeah, of course. So what's the general strategy here? Do we want to go first, second? What are we looking for?
I've been going first. Generally, just been going first because you want to play the Corona. Or if you don't have the Perona, you can play the Dolphin Curve, and then you can stack your deck and start using your leader ability. Going second's fine. Like if my opponent really wants the second curve, I'll just take it away from them because this deck can play second. It's not as good. At least it's not as good until ST17. Once ST17 comes out, they're going second curve is so good as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so generally right now just going first. Unless I want to take the second curve away from my opponent.
Right. And what's your worst and best matchup?
I mean, I just don't like versing Lucci ever. And no matter what deck I play, I just don't like versing Lucci.
Fair enough.
The Black Yellow Luffy, like as I mentioned before, the Perfume is their win condition, but a smart Black Yellow Luffy player is gonna leave himself on 1 life.
Yeah.
And so you just can't do that. And so it's like a kind of like a race against the clock, kind of. Because if they start stacking up to 9k leader, it's really hard.
Fair.
I think just those 2 decks. Everything else is kind of fair. Nami's no competition.
Yeah. Pretty. You just go wide.
You just go wide.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything else I think the matchups is fair.
Cool. Any last words for anyone who wants to run this deck?
Anyone that's running the deck, just do it. This deck gets way better once ST17 comes out.
Yep.
It's like I said, it's the blue, red, purple law.
Yep.
Right. So if you really like red, purple law, just try out this deck.
And you get 5 life.
And you get 5 life.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost $50 each for a Gordon.
That's true. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, David, and congratulations on your winning Winnabox.
Yeah.
And we'll see you around.
Sweet. Thanks.
Cool.